Here are 10 of the most expensive quarter dollars sold at auction in 2025. This coin exposes how brutal 1917 San Francisco minting really was. Type 2 quarters were rushed into production after a mid-year design change, and most came out weak, especially at the head. Full head survivors are not only scarce, but, well, true gems are genuine rarities, being at least twice as scarce as the D-mint coins from this same year, and multiple times more so when compared to the Philly Mint coins. This one didn't just beat the odds, it absolutely demolished them, landing at the razor's edge of the conditional census. MS-67 with full head designation is unheard of for this particular issue, and the closing price at auction of $96,000 rightly reflects exactly that. This quarter hides in the shadows of its more famous neighbors. This is a sleeper of the Standing Liberty series. While everyone chases the 1919D and the 1919S, but the 1920S is far tougher to find in true full head gem conditions. Weak strikes wrecked most of this mintage, and almost none survived with full head details. This coin, graded as MS-66 with full head details from PCGS, is one of the rarest top grade survivors of the entire series, sold for $105 early on in the year. This quarter marks the birth of the Carson City coinage. Struck in 1870, the mint's first year of operation, quarters were an afterthought in a silver and gold economy, and only 8,340 coins were minted, most of which quickly vanished into circulation. Today, survivors are indeed scarce, and higher grade examples even more so still, with estimates between 70 and perhaps 80 coins known in all grades, making this coin a direct link to the rugged, experimental beginnings of the Carson City Mint and the spirit of exploration. Graded as a U50, it sold at auction for the sum of $108,000. This quarter shows how unforgiving early 20th century minting truly could be. The 1919D was struck just as demand in the economy collapsed, and weak strikes doomed most examples. Finding one with a fully defined head is exceptionally hard. This piece has quietly survived in top condition for more than 2 centuries, never before seen at auction. It's an incredible example with a grade of MS-66, with very well-deserved full head designation that sold at auction for $132,000. According to Walter Breen, in 1831, proof capped head bust quarters were sent to the president as well as the treasury secretary. These were of the large letters varieties to showcase the new closed collar technique as well as the new design with larger letters and a beaded border. It remains unclear how many were minted as proof, but fewer than 20 examples are known to exist today. This example is the Pogue coin, graded as PCGS Proof 65 Cameo, and was sold at auction for $160,312 in October. This quarter was never meant for circulation. Although mint records list 4,000 coins struck in 1827, only 9 coins are dated 1827 are known to exist today, and all of those are proof coins. Collectors quickly realized that something didn't quite add up for this year, making the coin legendary by the 1850s already, and prompting later restrikes by enterprising mint employees. This original example, identified by the curl in the base of the number 2 of the date, traces through kings and icons of the numismatic industry, a mystery coin from an era when the mint kept secrets and collectors began to notice. Graded today as PCGS MS63, it was sold in January for $180,000. This coin was a design experiment that quietly failed. Early in 1842, the US Mint tried a small date punch for the proof quarters, then abandoned it almost immediately. No circulating coins were ever made this way, except for a small number of coins at the New Orleans Mint. Only 5 of those are available to collectors today, with 2 more coins in museum collections. This example, the Eliasberg and Gardner specimen, preserves a brief, almost forgotten detour in American coining history. Graded as Proof 65, it was sold at auction by Heritage in April for the sum of $222,000. In early January of 1873, a small mintage of 4,000 seated Liberty quarter dollars were minted at the Carson City Mint. On the 12th of February of that year, before these coins could even be issued for circulation, Congress passed the Mint Act of 1873, mandating an incremental increase in the weight of silver coins. To identify and distinguish between the 2 types in circulation, a pair of arrowheads were added to either side of the date of the newer, heavier coins. Most of these no arrow coins at Carson City were in fact destroyed, but somehow 5 specimens managed to escape the melting pot and survive, making it, in all terms, the rarest quarter dollar in US Mint history. This coin, the Eliasberg specimen, was graded as MS63 and sold in January for $360,000. The 20-cent coin was one of the US Mint's greatest failed experiments. It was only briefly minted for 4 years, and only 2 of those years, 1875 and 76, saw the coins released into circulation. In 1876, the Carson City Mint struck 10,000 20-cent coins. But before they ever left the Frontier Mint, the denomination was axed, and the entire mintage was ordered to be melted down for recoining. Today, we can trace no more than 16 of these coins that somehow managed to survive. This example was graded as MS64 by PCGS, and at the Central States Show sale in April, it was sold for $444,000. The 1796 draped bust quarter dollar holds a special place in the hearts and minds of collectors, because it was the first year that the new denomination was minted, and it would also be the only year that this particular design was minted at all, making it a single-year type coin, with a mintage of no greater than 6,146 coins. And more than that, it would be another 8 years before another quarter dollar was minted at all. Add to that legacy the coin's provenance as the Reed Horn specimen, and a top grade of MS65 from PCGS, and the final price at auction in November of $480,000 comes more clearly into focus. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch the video about the most expensive dimes sold at auction in 2025 next, right here. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.